Before the war, before the legends, there was a broken soldier searching for purpose. This is the beginning of Jake Sully's transformation, physical, emotional, and spiritual, on the world that would change him forever. On a polluted, overcrowded Earth, Jake Sully, a paraplegic former Marine, is trapped. Not just in his wheelchair, but in a life without meaning. His days are a monotonous cycle of regret and lost opportunities. But at night, something shifts. He dreams. He dreams of running through vibrant forests, of leaping from branch to branch, of soaring through alien skies. He dreams of being whole again. These aren't just fantasies. They are echoes of a future he can't yet imagine, a life waiting for him light years away. It's a premonition of the life he will soon experience through his avatar body, a genetically engineered hybrid of human and Na'vi DNA. This journey truly begins when he meets her, Neytiri, a fierce warrior of the Na'vi, the indigenous people of Pandora. Their first encounter is one of suspicion and hostility. To her, he is just another sky person, another invader threatening her home. But as they spend time together, something changes. Her initial distrust slowly melts away, replaced first by a grudging respect, then a genuine friendship, and finally, something much deeper. Jake, on the other hand, starts with a hidden agenda. His mission is to infiltrate the Na'vi, learn their weaknesses, and gather intelligence for the military. But he can't deny the growing fascination he feels for Neytiri. He's drawn to her courage, her grace, and her profound spiritual connection to her world. Every lesson she teaches him about Pandora chips away at the soldier he was, revealing the man he could become. He finds himself torn between his orders and his heart, a conflict that will define his entire existence. The bond they form becomes the emotional core of his story, a love that will challenge loyalties and reshape destinies. The reason Jake is even on this alien moon is the Avatar program, a groundbreaking scientific initiative led by the brilliant but cynical Dr. Grace Augustine. On the surface, the program's goal is noble: to study Pandora's unique ecosystem, build diplomatic bridges with the Na'vi, and understand their culture. Grace believes that knowledge and mutual respect are the keys to peaceful coexistence. She pours her life into this work, hoping to protect the very world she is studying. But beneath this scientific veneer lies a darker, more corporate motive. Earth is dying, and its corporations are desperate for a solution. That solution is unobtainium, a room-temperature superconductor found in vast quantities on Pandora, right beneath the Na'vi's home. It's worth trillions, and the RDA Corporation will stop at nothing to get it. This is where the central conflict emerges. For the humans, Pandora is a gold mine, a resource to be exploited. For the Na'vi, Pandora is a living entity, their mother, their goddess Ewa. It is life itself. This conflict is personified by Colonel Miles Quaritch, the head of the military security force. He sees the Na'vi not as a people to be understood, but as an obstacle to be removed. He views Pandora's incredible biodiversity as a threat, a hostile environment that needs to be tamed and conquered. While Grace hopes for peace through understanding, Quaritch prepares for war through force. Jake is caught in the middle of this ideological battle, a pawn in a game far larger than he initially realizes. His mission to gather intel for Quaritch puts him in direct opposition to everything Grace stands for, and every moment he spends with Neytiri pulls him further away from his original orders. The stage is set for a clash of worlds where science, greed, and spirituality collide. The moment Jake links with his avatar for the first time is pure rebirth. He opens his eyes, not his human ones, but the large, golden eyes of his Na'vi body. He wiggles his toes, feeling the sensation for the first time in years. Then tentatively he stands. He takes a step, then another, and then he runs. He runs with an explosive joy, a feeling of liberation so powerful it's overwhelming. He is whole again. He is free. His first steps onto Pandora itself are a sensory overload of awe and wonder. The jungle floor glows with bioluminescent light. Plants retract at his touch. Strange, beautiful creatures flit through the air. The landscape is a breathtaking tapestry of floating mountains, colossal trees, and cascading waterfalls. It's a paradise beyond anything he could have dreamed. But this paradise is also perilous. His awe quickly turns to terror as he encounters Pandora's dangerous wildlife. Vicious, panther-like viper wolves hunt in packs. A massive hammerhead-like Titanitherian charges him, shaking the very ground beneath his feet. The flora itself is a death trap, with poisonous thorns and explosive plants. During an attack, he becomes separated from Grace's science team. Lost, alone, and terrified as darkness falls, his survival test truly begins. The vibrant jungle transforms into a shadowy labyrinth of unseen threats. Just as a pack of viper wolves closes in for the kill, a flaming arrow strikes one down. Neytiri appears from the darkness, a blur of blue and black. She fights with deadly grace, saving his life, but she is angry. Angry that she had to kill the forest creatures to save a clumsy sky person. She is ready to leave him to his fate, until something miraculous happens. The seeds of the great tree, the most sacred spirits of the forest, begin to float down and land gently all over him. Neytiri watches in astonishment. This is a sign from Ewa, a pure spirit. He is not just another invader. He has been chosen. Following the sacred sign, Neytiri brings Jake to Home Tree, the colossal 1,000-foot-tall tree that houses her entire clan, the Omatika. His reception is anything but warm. The Na'vi warriors surround him, their spears pointed, their tails lashing with suspicion and hostility. To them, he is a demon in a false body, a representative of the humans who have destroyed their forests and killed their people. They see his avatar not as a bridge, but as a mockery. The clan leader, Etukan, is ready to kill him. But Neytiri intervenes, explaining the sign she witnessed. This piques the interest of Moat, the clan's spiritual leader and Neytiri's mother. She approaches Jake, studying him with ancient, knowing eyes. She sees the warrior spirit inside him, but also the ignorance of a child. Moat declares that if he is to learn their ways, he must be taught. She commands her daughter, Neytiri, to be his teacher. It's a task Neytiri accepts with great reluctance, and so, Jake's training begins. It is a grueling process. He must learn their language, a complex tongue of clicks and tones that feels alien on his human-trained mind. He must learn to hunt with a bow, to move silently through the forest, and to respect every living thing. Most importantly, he must learn the Na'vi's profound connection to nature, the bond they form with the creatures of Pandora, especially the dire horses they ride. It's a philosophy completely at odds with the human way of taking whatever they want. Every day is a struggle, a test of his physical and spiritual endurance. He is an outcast, a baby trying to walk among giants. Jake Sully has taken his first steps into a new world. But his path will be filled with conflict both within himself and against those who wish to conquer Pandora. Jake Sully took his first steps into the vibrant, dangerous world of Pandora. Now, he's about to enter the very heart of Na'vi culture. But as he grows closer to their world and to Neytiri, the humans' desire to exploit Pandora only intensifies. This is the story of a man torn between two realities, and a clash of civilizations that will decide the fate of an entire planet. We're exploring the spiritual core of the Na'vi, and how one man's perspective is shattered and rebuilt. The key to understanding the Na'vi is understanding Ewa. Neytiri teaches Jake that Ewa isn't just a distant god in the sky. She is the interconnectedness of all life on Pandora. Think of it as a planet-wide biological and spiritual network. The Na'vi don't just live in the forest, they are an integral part of it. Every creature, every plant, every whisper of the wind is a node in this vast living system. This isn't just a pretty idea. It's a tangible reality. Jake starts to experience this firsthand. When he rides with Neytiri, he's not just traveling through the landscape, he's moving with it. When he learns to hunt, he learns to thank the animal for its life, understanding that its energy will return to the forest, a cycle of give and take. He learns to listen to the silent communications of the creatures around him, to sense the rhythm of the ecosystem. It's a profound shift from the human perspective of dominance and separation. For the Na'vi, nature isn't something to be conquered or used. It's something to be in communion with. This connection becomes incredibly real for Jake when he learns the art of Tisaelu, the neural bond. By connecting his cue to an animal's, he forms a direct, conscious link. Imagine feeling the thoughts, the instincts, the raw power of another living being as if it were your own. We see this in the breathtaking scenes where Jake bonds with his own Ikran, a fierce mountain banshee. That first flight isn't just a thrilling action sequence, it's a spiritual awakening. Soaring through the floating mountains, he feels the wind not just on his skin but in his soul. He's no longer a man riding a beast. They are one, moving in perfect harmony. Through this bond, Jake begins to internalize the Na'vi view of life and death. It's not a final terrifying end, but a natural, necessary part of a continuous cycle. Energy is simply borrowed, and one day, it must be returned to Ewa, to the great network of life. This is a far cry from the human fear of mortality. For the Na'vi, to die is to become one with everything again. As Jake immerses himself deeper, Neytiri's teachings begin to echo a fascinating earth-based philosophy, that of Baruch Spinoza. Spinoza, a 17th-century philosopher, proposed a radical idea for his time. He argued that God and nature were not separate entities, but were one and the same. He called this single infinite substance Deus sive natura, which means God or nature. For Spinoza, everything in the universe, from rocks and trees to human thoughts and emotions, is simply a different mode or expression of this one divine substance. There's no separation between the physical and the spiritual, the creator and the creation. It's all part of a single, interconnected whole, governed by its own immutable laws. The Na'vi, without ever reading a word of philosophy, live this truth every single day. Ewa is their God, or nature. Their entire culture is built on the direct experience of this unity. As Jake experiences this profound connection, his old life, his human self, begins to fade. The belief in separation, in individuality as the ultimate reality, starts to feel like a delusion. His human body, lying frail and paralyzed in a container back at the human base, feels more and more like a distant gray dream. His real life, the vibrant, connected existence he has as his avatar, is where he truly feels alive. He's not just playing a role anymore, he is becoming Na'vi. The man who came to Pandora for a paycheck is now finding his soul. But while Jake is having this spiritual transformation, the human threat is growing larger and more ominous. The RDA, the corporation mining Pandora, is losing patience. The Tree of Souls, a site of immense spiritual significance to the Na'vi, sits directly on top of the largest deposit of unobtainium. For the company, it's just an obstacle. For the Na'vi, it's their spiritual nexus. Colonel Quaritch, the embodiment of military might and human arrogance, gives Jake an ultimatum. The time for diplomacy is over. An invasion is coming. He reminds Jake of his mission: to convince the Na'vi to relocate, or to provide the intel needed to remove them by force. Jake is caught in an impossible position. His loyalty to his own people is now in direct conflict with his love for Neytiri and the world she has shown him. Every day he spends with the Na'vi, he sees the catastrophic consequences of the human plan. But what can he do? He's a soldier bound by duty. Meanwhile, within the Omaticaya clan, suspicions are growing. Jake has integrated remarkably well, but he is still an outsider, a dreamwalker from the Sky People. Some Na'vi warriors are wary of his true intentions. They see the smoke rising from the human base in the distance and feel the encroachment of the machines. How can they fully trust someone who came from that world? Jake's success in becoming one of them also makes him a bigger target for their suspicion. The climax of Jake's personal journey arrives with a sacred ceremony. He has proven himself a true hunter, a warrior, and has won the heart of the chief's daughter. The clan decides to officially accept him as one of their own Omaticaya. It's a beautiful, powerful ritual, a symbol of his complete rebirth. He is no longer just Jake Sully in an avatar body. In the eyes of the clan, he is one of the people. For Jake, this is the moment he has been longing for, the ultimate validation of his new life. But this moment of pure belonging is immediately shattered. Just as he is fully embraced, the truth of his original mission comes to light. The bulldozer that appears at the edge of the forest, tearing down sacred trees, is a brutal reminder of the world he came from. When Neytiri learns that he knew this was coming, that he was sent as a spy to gather intel for this very invasion, her heart breaks. The man she loves, the man her people just accepted, has been lying to them all along. The sense of betrayal is absolute. Jake tries to explain, to tell them that he has changed, that his allegiance is with them now, but it's too late. The trust has been destroyed. He is cast out, a traitor to both worlds, alone and in despair. The seeds of war have been planted. Jake has lost everything, the trust of the Na'vi and his place among the humans. The Na'vi rests in the hands of a man caught between two worlds. Can he win back their trust and lead them against the overwhelming power of the human war machine? The world of Pandora is on the brink. Humanity, driven by greed, unleashes its machines of war. Jake Sully, a man torn between two worlds, must now make a choice. Who is he truly? And for whom will he fight? The sky darkens, not with clouds, but with the smoke of human industry. Giant bulldozers roar to life, their metallic teeth tearing into the ancient forests of Pandora. Trees that have stood for millennia crash to the ground, their fall echoing like a scream across the land. The home tree, the heart of the Amaticaya clan, is engulfed in fire and explosions. Homes burn and the Na'vi flee in terror, their cries lost in the chaos. Jake and the scientist Grace Augustine desperately try to reason with the military commanders, to warn them of the life they are extinguishing. But their pleas fall on deaf ears. The assault is relentless. It's not just the Na'vi who feel this wound. The very planet seems to recoil in pain. The creatures of Pandora, the viper wolves, and the hammerhead titanotheres sense the disturbance, their calls filled with a new, raw agitation. A wave of destruction washes over the land, leaving only ashes and sorrow in its wake. The message is clear: humanity has declared war on Pandora itself. In the midst of this devastation, Jake Sully finds his purpose. Cast out by the Amaticaya for his initial betrayal, he knows that words are no longer enough. He must prove his loyalty through action. He turns against his own kind, fighting alongside the Na'vi against the human invaders. But to truly unite the clans, to give them a fighting chance against overwhelming firepower, he needs to become more than just a warrior. He needs to become a legend. He recalls an ancient story, a prophecy of a great rider who would unite the people in a time of great sorrow. This rider is the Torek Makto, the one who tames the great Leonopteryx, the most feared predator in the Pandoran sky. It's a suicidal mission, but it's their only hope. In a breathtaking display of courage, Jake confronts the magnificent beast, bonding with it and soaring through the sky. He returns to the scattered Na'vi clans not as the human traitor, but as Torek Makto, a living symbol of hope. His arrival sends a powerful message: Pandora will fight back, united as one. The clans, inspired by this legendary feat, rally behind him, preparing for the war to end all wars. The final battle begins. The human forces unleash their full might. Armored AMP suits march across the battlefield, gunships fill the air with bullets and missiles, and a massive bomber looms over the Tree of Souls, ready to deliver the final blow. It's a storm of steel and fire. But the Na'vi are not alone. They fight with the fury of a people defending their home. Arrows fly with deadly precision. Warriors on dire horses charge into the fray, and from the skies, Na'vi riders on their Ikran dive bomb the human gunships. Pandora itself joins the fight. A stampede of hammerhead titanotheres crashes through the human lines, and swarms of viper wolves tear into the infantry. The ecosystem, once a passive victim, has become an active combatant. In the heart of the chaos, Neytiri fights with unparalleled ferocity, her grief for her home fueling her strength. She and Jake fight side by side, their bond forged in the crucible of war. But tragedy strikes. Grace Augustine is caught in the crossfire, mortally wounded. In a desperate attempt to save her, the Na'vi bring her to the Tree of Souls, but it's too late. Pandora has lost one of its most passionate defenders. The cost of this war is mounting, and the battle rages on. The ground battle culminates in a final, brutal showdown between Jake and Colonel Quaritch. It's a clash of ideologies: Jake, in his agile Na'vi form, against Quaritch, encased in his powerful AMP suit. The Colonel is relentless, a force of pure destruction determined to wipe out Jake and everything he stands for. He smashes the chamber protecting Jake's vulnerable human body, and as the toxic Pandoran air rushes in, Jake begins to suffocate. Just as Quaritch is about to land the final blow, Neytiri appears. With a primal scream, she fires 2 arrows directly into the Colonel's chest, ending his reign of terror for good. She rushes to Jake's side, placing a breathing mask on his human face, saving him. In that moment, as she looks upon his human form with love and tenderness, it's clear their connection transcends species. With Quaritch gone, the human invasion crumbles. The Na'vi have won. The surviving humans, the soldiers and corporate miners, are expelled from Pandora, sent back to their dying Earth. This victory prompts a profound reflection. The story of Pandora isn't just about a battle. It's a critique of humanity's worldview. We often see our planet, Earth, as a collection of resources to be exploited, a concept known as anthropocentrism. We place ourselves at the center of everything, forgetting that we are part of a larger, interconnected system. This brings us to a fascinating scientific idea, the Gaia theory. Proposed by James Lovelock, this theory suggests that Earth isn't just a rock with life on it. It's a single, self-regulating superorganism. The oceans, the atmosphere, the forests, and all living creatures work together like the organs of a body to maintain the conditions necessary for life. Pandora is the ultimate expression of this theory, with its neural network connecting every plant and animal. The Na'vi understood this innately. Through the eye of Awa, Jake is permanently transferred into his Na'vi body. This isn't just a physical change. It's a spiritual and philosophical awakening. He fully embraces the Gaian perspective, no longer seeing the world as something to be conquered, but as a living entity to be cherished and protected. He has found his true home. The war for Pandora is over, but its most important lesson echoes on. Life thrives not through domination, but through connection. Jake Sully may have found a new body, but more importantly, he found an entirely new way of seeing the universe and himself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of Pandora, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into your favorite stories. See you next time.